Greetings. Let me ask, do your projects start up trouble-free and ramp up to full capacity quickly? If not, you wouldn't be alone. I'm Uptime James, and I'm here to talk about operational readiness. Long ago in my career in petrochemicals, I participated in a couple of new plant startups and several plant expansions. Some aspects of them went very smoothly, but others did not. Our maintenance superintendent was a very hands-on type of guy who watched construction like a hawk. Whenever he spotted something wrong, he'd let the project team know and they'd have it corrected. And there were a lot of observations. We were also diligent in our pre-startup checks and commissioning. The engineering, procurement, construction contractor, an engineering firm, learned that we weren't going to let things slide. And eventually they got proactive about making corrections where they knew they had cut corners. Now, had they paid more attention to our standards and specifications originally, they wouldn't have had all that rework. Anyway, despite all that effort, handover to operations and maintenance wasn't quite as smooth as we'd have liked. We had asked for documentation and initial spares, and we got them, but nothing more than what manufacturers had recommended, and filed in cabinets by the EPC contractor by their subcontract numbers, something we couldn't figure out. Startup spares were procured and stored away in a container, but they were actually spares intended to meet the needs of preventive maintenance the manufacturers had recommended. So when we had it, it was hard to find, and in many cases, we discovered that we didn't have what we actually need. They hadn't really thought through the kinds of breakdowns that are likely to occur in a startup. Anything that was designed and built by the EPC contractor was totally unspared, and there was no documentation other than technical drawings. That's all the pipe works and tanks and everything that go in between, all the equipment that you buy. Training of operators and maintainers was pretty much non-existent, and equipment training was available from suppliers, but not contracted for initially. Nothing at all on systems. So startup, confusing, and lots of mistakes. Now, later in my career, I worked on a defense project, a shipbuilding project. We had quite a different experience with that one. Things got up and running very well, very smoothly. Ships entered service as intended, quite rapidly, and up to full operational capability quickly. The difference was what we did to provide for operational readiness. The link below has some interesting information on that. Thanks for listening.